so devoid of any ideas. And we do need to be really careful because Tottenham and Arsenal are both playing far better than us, and they are on our case. I think we're going to be fine, but top three, not necessarily top four, top three is definitely now in jeopardy. I cannot believe that we have got into a situation where we're looking over our shoulder. We are supposed to be aspirational. We're supposed to be aiming up. We're now preoccupied with how Arsenal and West Ham are going to get on. Desperate for West Ham to take something off Arsenal for our own benefit. What on earth is going wrong? At some point, we need to ask a question about Thomas Tuchel. I adore Tuchel.
Wow. Asking questions about Thomas Tuchel. Rory, I got sent this video, right? And I decided not to watch it until I did this now. First time I'm seeing it with many of you right now. Of course, all the links that we use in the Fan Channel Review Show are in the description below. So go check out their channel, subscribe, and support the YouTube community. But asking questions about Thomas Tuchel. Let's see what else Rory's got to say here. He's about to be praiseful as well, but let's see what he's got to say.
I think he's brilliant. I think he's been so good, so consistent, and so brilliant for Chelsea.
Then there's no reason to question him, Rory.
Conducted himself admirably throughout, and Chelsea have been so lucky to have him. But at what point do we need to explore what is going wrong, and does the buck stop with the manager? Our performances are abjectly poor. They are so shoddy, and we are constantly making individual mistake after individual mistake. That has to be tactical. We have to be asking players to do things that they aren't happy to do. Think about the chance that Edouard Mendy gave away, the goal that Edouard Mendy gave away against Real Madrid. That happened because of our insistence on playing out from the back. If you don't have the personnel to play out from the back, don't play out from the back.
Just say, look, I understand where Rory's coming from. I get his point. These mistakes keep happening. The team is flat. I don't think it's too cool, and I don't think it's tactical though. And the reason I bring that up is this. First and foremost, you've been doing this for 12 months or so without any major issues, with the same personnel, and look brilliant. There was a reason that many people thought you could win the title. You'd qualify for the top four with ease. Some even thought you could go back to back. This is a team that's made the final of every cup competition that Tuchel has entered, barring the Champions League this year. Every other cup competition, he has got to the final. I don't think this is about questioning Thomas Tuchel. And there's something that Rory said there, which I think has been prevalent at Chelsea for many years, the player power issue. Are the players not delivering because they're being asked to do things they do not want to do? Chelsea can't allow that to become part of the makeup, especially post-Roman Abramovich. Who knows what the new owners are going to be like, the level of manager that you're going to bring in, the compensation levels that these people are willing to pay out. Something different needs to happen here, in my opinion. Something different has to be done here by Chelsea Football Club. It really, really does.
Thomas Tuchel needs to sort this out, because what is unacceptable, regardless of conditioning, regardless of what's going on around the club, regardless of where Chelsea are situated at the moment, what is unacceptable is conceding 4 goals at home twice in a row against Brentford and then against Arsenal. That is totally and utterly unacceptable, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what Thomas Tuchel has to deal with. It is not okay to be absolutely battered by Arsenal and Brentford in consecutive league games.
He's right there. By Chelsea standards of the last 20 years in the Roman era, it isn't. And I kind of get the Roman would be looking at sacking him. We know historically, if you don't challenge for a league title, don't challenge majorly for the Champions League, quarterfinals isn't majorly challenging. That's not a semi-final narrow defeat or a final defeat. Losing that League Cup final, look, he might win the FA Cup final, but we've seen managers sacked for a lot less under Roman Abramovich. But I do think that Chelsea fans have to look at the situation surrounding them. I think Chelsea have to look at what's going on. They can't renew contracts of particular players. Some don't want to stay. It's hard to do with others because of the current sanctions against the football club. They don't know who the new owners are going to be. There's turmoil within that as well. It's not being discussed by many Chelsea fans, but there's certainly turmoil within that situation. There really, really is turmoil within that situation. They don't know what these investors really want, how they're going to look to make their money, how these billionaires want to return on their investment. I think the uncertainty at the club, the future of particular players, who they're going to bring and buy in, I think there's a concentration lap. I think the eye has been taken off the ball. Now, you can put some of the blame on that on Thomas Tuchel potentially, but I think, let's just say right now, Tuchel sacked and blamed for all of this. I don't think Chelsea improve in the short or medium term until the running of the club. And the reason I bring that up is the running of a football club is quite simply, in my opinion, the most important element of a football club. And I feel like it's been that way for a long, long time now. And if the club isn't run right, it's very, very difficult to, it's very, very difficult, in my opinion, to sort of create continuity and brilliance. But great video from Rory. Big opinions from him there. I want your take and views on it. Now, there's a little QR code here next to me. That is for our Clips channel, which is now back up and running with a vengeance. Clips from all the shows throughout the week. Fan calls, podcasts, match reactions, transfer videos, and much, much more. Click on the link in our description below and in the comment section to access the latest clips, or scan that QR code right now if you're watching on your televisions or a desktop and you want to save it for later. But make sure you've done that. Make sure you're subscribing and all that jazz. League Gunner up next. Of course, Arsenal beat West Ham United. So very intrigued to know what he's got to say now. 3 wins on the bounce. Guaranteed Europa League football. Clear progression from last year. Let's see what Lee's got to say.
We've got Super Mick Arteta. He knows exactly what we need. You can't see what Mikel Arteta's doing, mate. You can F off down the lane. We are now back above that lot again. And Top Gooners are rejoicing. 4 cup finals to go. And yeah, it's going to go all the way to the wire by the looks of it. I think Top Gooners are pinning everything on this Tottenham-Liverpool game. And judging by the way Liverpool played yesterday against Newcastle, by the way, I wouldn't pin anything on that. And we'll see what happens, isn't it? Third loser is not a trophy to me. But according to everyone who is in the Top Gooner circle, it can get you the best players in Europe because the top 4 gets you all the stars.
I love him. Do you know what it is? Like, you see the frustration in, oh, we won. And now I've got to listen to what he calls like the Gooner Muppets, the social media Muppets again, like praise this up. It's Lee, you won a football match. You won. Be happy. Smile. You won a football match. Do you know what, Lee? You're going about this the wrong way. If you really think Mikel Arteta is going to be exposed, being in the Champions League is more likely to do that. Play chess, brother.
Before we get into this fan cam, make sure you are sticking a like on the video. Check out Kenny, Ken, and Jez as well. They're going to be dropping real soon, straight. The player ratings will be out as well, so make sure you keep.
What is he saying here?
Tommy injured again. Yeah, injured. That's what happens when you put a player in that ain't kicked a football for 3 months. Other than what? Skinning Ronaldo with
Arteta for blame. Arteta's to blame.
He came on in the first time he got the ball the other night. But to start the guy in a game that's a London derby with a bit of intensity in it, it was always going to be a bit rowdy. I think a lot of people expected West Ham to drop more players than they did. Yes, they've got a defensive crisis in terms of players out injured, but they didn't really drop that many players. Declan Rice, by the way, how good is that guy? Yeah, real talk. Yeah, any Hammers watching this, you've got a baller there, man. Yeah, and he's got better and better this season. And
he is right, by the way, about Declan Rice. Declan Rice, I saw a lot of people kicking off at Declan Rice yesterday about the spat with Eddie Nketiah, saying he's not that good at holding and controlling in midfield. Look who he's playing with at West Ham, and I mean that with respect to Hammers. He is not playing with top. Stick him in the midfield with Thiago and Naby Keita next to him. Stick him in the midfield with KDB and Gundogan next to him. I don't think people realize how much more that will elevate him, where there's less responsibility on him, better quality people for him to pass the ball to and receive the ball to, less mistakes being made. The amount of times as well West Ham will concede possession compared to a Man City, compared to a Liverpool, you know, compared to when Chelsea are on form, compared to a Chelsea. This kid is special. We all know the reason why people dislike him. We all know the reason why people certain people don't rate him. It's weird to me because, in my opinion, when he's in a big side, with top quality players surrounding him, he will instantly be challenging the Fabinhos and the Rodris for best holding midfield player in the league without a shadow of a doubt.
We'll come back to him in a minute. But first half, we're like, wow, this is great, isn't it? No shots on target after whatever minute it was. Rob Holding was in defence. He ended up getting man of the match. We're going to come to him in a minute. Benjamin White obviously was going to get a leg tattoo on the back of his leg.
Listen. On the process thing, I heard a saying yesterday, and I want to use this. It's about progression. It's not about being perfect. And for me, look, I love me and Lee do a lot of shows together. I like him a lot, but I do have to disagree with him. Like, you've got to be happy when you win. Arsenal were not fantastic in their game against West Ham. They were not fantastic, but it's the business end of the season. And do you know why I've got to disagree with Lee? For years, I heard Gooners, maybe not him per se, but I heard a number of Gooners, a number of Gunners, a number of Arsenal fans moan about how when it comes to the business end or the crunch times of the season, where they just needed results, not performances, not beautiful looking football, but results, far too often it was they were let down. They were let down by their club. Now, I want to focus on one more thing. Make sure you're scanning the QR code here as well. Now, this is a tweet. So what we're going to start doing on the Fan Channel Review Show is obviously looking at the videos, but also looking at tweets from people as well. This is a madness, okay? So this Liverpool fan here says, when title races are this close, the points totals are so, and the points total is so high, it feels mad that a solitary point could decide it. The winner should have to be a three clear, or it goes to a series of tie-break games or something like that. This Liverpool fan thinks that because the points total is probably going to be in the low to mid 90s, that one solitary point or goal difference shouldn't be able to be what splits them. So suddenly we're going to change. We are going to change how titles have been decided in English football for generations, for decades, maybe over 100 years. I've not read anywhere that we decided it anywhere different at any point. It's always been the team with the most points, or if you've got the same amount of points with the best goal difference, wins the league. Liverpool fans now want to change this, but this isn't new. 2-3 years ago, when they were in the title race before and they lost out by a point, Liverpool fans were phoning into the radio shows. They were writing letters to the Premier League and starting protests saying they needed their own trophy as well. They believed because their points total was so high for second place, it would have won the Premier League on nearly every other occasion, barring the Centurions. They deserved the trophy for it. And for me, this is the word delusions of grandeur. Is that the right word I would use here? Let me Google that. Delusions of grandeur. I swear that's what this means. I might have got this wrong. Delusions of grandeur is one of the more common delusions. It's when you believe that you have more power, wealth, smarts, or other grand traits than is true. And that's what I believe is true here. If you finish second behind another top team and you've got 95 points and they've got 96, you're still second best in the league. It shouldn't go down to a tiebreaker. This is a madness to me. You know, I didn't see Liverpool fans tweeting about this when Man United lost out to City on goal difference with the famous Aguero goal. When Man United missed out on a four-peat, which would have gone down as the greatest Premier League team of all time to win 4 Premier Leagues on the bounce. When we missed out in 2011 to Chelsea by a solitary point. By the way, after losing our defensive centre-back partnership for the vast majority of the season as a pair, nobody was tweeting about, we've got to change the way we structure things. We see this all the time in the modern day world. When a particular politician isn't going to get voted in, we've got to change the way we do elections. You know, when a football team isn't going to win, we've got to change the way we do this. You know, we've got rid of away goals in the Champions League now. Everybody loved it when their team won on away goals, but condemned it when they lost on them. This is what we do. This is what to lose a mentality in many ways. We might lose. Can I find a way, an angle, a narrative to moan about it so we still look like winners? Come on now. You're Liverpool. We're a big Liverpool football club, the most decorated club in English football. And you want to change the way leagues have been won? And of course, they've done when points totals are this high. Points totals are only this high now because over the generations, over the decades, football has got better, deeper squads, more money, fitness, dietary situations have become better and better and better, meaning the top teams can accumulate more points than ever before. That isn't to take away from them, but it's the natural evolution of the sport. It's a bit like this. You can sometimes have a 100-meter Olympic final now where 6 of the runners run in sub 10-second times. Meaning that their time, the guy coming 6th, could actually have a better time than the guy that won the Olympic gold back in the 1990s, the 80s, 70s, 60s. What? How do we give them a gold medal as well because it's better than people from 10, 20, 30 years ago? No. Generally speaking, the time of running has got better, or at the very least, more runners have got faster over the period of time. But you still award it with who comes first, second, and third. That's it. You don't start changing it to try and give everybody a gold medal, everybody a trophy, everybody a pat on the back. That's a madness to me. But listen, that's the end of the Fan Channel review show today. Make sure you're smashing like buttons. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Thank you.